Greetings, greetings, family. Sister Shanice in the house. Welcome, welcome to another Wednesday Ujama Day program. I'm absolutely delighted that you are joining me in the house today. It's going to be another really interesting conversation. It's about liberation. It's about us as Africans knowing what it means to have a liberated mindset, what it means, based on Garvey's principles, for us to come together in unity and unity. I've got two guests this evening. Our first guest is going to be Elder Pepukayi. Those of you who are regular listeners to the show, you'll be familiar with his situation that we're going to be talking about. And our second guest on the show, lined up for this evening, is our very own Elder Akyaaba Addai-Sebo. And he has visited our platform before, and many of you have asked for his return. So I'm delighted that he's going to be joining us here this evening. So welcome, welcome, family. As you come through the door, please do hit me up in the chat. Let me know that you are in the house. As I normally do, I have to post a link in the background so that everybody has our link, because the link doesn't become live until I actually go live. So I will be doing that in the background. And in fact, while I'm doing that, why don't I just remind those of you who are not familiar with my recent developments about a new product of mine. So yeah, please let everybody know that we are live. Please do hit me up in the chat as well. So let me just find the right screen, and I will let everybody know about a book that I'd recently released. Those of you who already know about it and you have a copy of the book already, thank you so, so much. I am deeply honored, deeply privileged. I've been out and about in the community. I've been doing some book signings. I've been meeting some of you wonderful, wonderful listeners to the Big G Galaxy, Afiwi, the only de-brainwashing station. And I've also been meeting some of you who are regular visitors to this channel as well. I want to rise up our brother David Ricketts. I hope you're going to be listening in today. It was a pleasure meeting you very recently as well. Wow, wow, wow. We have some amazing followers, some amazing people in our community that are doing great works. And, it's so lovely to get the feedback or the feed forward from you when I meet with you about your views, thoughts, and opinions of the works as well. So come on through the door, family. Looking forward to a really interesting conversation today. For those of you who don't know, yes, I have released my new book. It is called Hidden in the Shadows of Ancient Britain, an erased African history restored. Why did I give it that title? I give it that title because I went to school, college, and university here in Britain. And throughout all of those years of my studying, I did not know even a fraction of what I have uncovered from my research about our present and our history here in Britain. How many of you actually are aware of the fact that as Africans, we were here in Britain from about 44,000 years ago? How many of you are aware that we have a Stone Age history here in Britain? How many are aware that it's we as Africans that actually built that European iconic monumental site that they call Stonehenge, that they're still trying to figure out, that they are so proud of, but they have no idea, what it was built for, how it was built, etc., because they didn't build it. Yeah. And how many of you know the story of Queen Scotia, or Scota, the queen who Scotland was named after? Some of you may know that Scotland was named after a black queen, but how many of you know her story? If you don't know her story, if you don't know the story of Stonehenge, if you don't know the story of our Stone Age era in Britain, if you don't know and didn't know that as Africans, we were here during the megalithic era, the Neolithic era, the Brass Age, Bronze Age, you know, all of those really old ancient times. If you didn't know, then get the book and get to know. You can get it via Amazon.co.uk if you're in the UK, or you can get it via Amazon.com if you are outside of the UK. The book is gaining a lot of interest, and to those of you who have got it already, I am so proud of you, and I thank you so much for your support. I really do. Come to think of it, you know, there may be some of you who don't even know who I am. You know, my name is Sista Shanice, born in the UKKK, and I am a graduate of Dr. Winters's Africana Phenomenology Research Program. And it was that particular program that actually inspired me to become focused, an African-centered focused researcher. Prior to that, I had been doing research, but primarily back in the days for my mainstream job. And, you know, I'd analyze data, I'd research data to do with, you know, us as a people in present times here in the UK, not realizing that there was a wealth of buried knowledge and artifacts and documents and scientific information, all to do with us as a people. I didn't even know that all of this information actually existed. And so once I got switched on, once the light bulb came on, and I was made aware of the fact that, you know, I should be researching our history here in Britain because we have a phenomenal amount of information here, I started doing that. And firstly, it started with my interest that was piqued in a presentation when I learned that there was a Black king of Britain by the name of King Offa. And so I thought, what? How comes I didn't know about this King Offa, this Anglo-Saxon king? You know, I ought to be aware of him. And I wasn't. And so when I started doing the research for the book, Black King of Anglo-Saxon Mercia in England, that's when I started uncovering that there were many Black kings and queens of Britain, and that they had been hiding this information from us. So get the books, family. You won't be disappointed if you're interested in our history, you know, and it's critical that we know our history. There's a number of books that I've been writing. And what did our late, great, awesome Mosiah Garvey tell us? He made us aware that a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, or culture is like a tree without roots. Wow. You know, so it's like we're just wavering in the wind. You know, we're just blowing any which way that goes if we're not grounded in the knowledge of our history and who we are. Because the roots of our history, the knowledge of our history reminds us of how great we actually are as Africans. But if you don't know that history, you won't have the knowledge of our greatness. And, you know, you might be inclined to believe the mainstream media that suggests to us that we are less than, that we don't have a history, that we don't know of our former greatness. And you see, if people don't know of their former greatness, then when they start to belittle us, when they try to present us in a way that suggests that we're insignificant, we've never contributed anything to society, and especially when our children and young people grow up with that kind of perception of themselves, of Africans, and they start to see the people who look like them as being insignificant, less than, never accomplished anything, never likely to either. This is when, you know, we get the problems in our communities and in our society. But if they are grounded in the knowledge of their history, if they are grounded in the knowledge of who they are, if they are grounded in the knowledge of the civilizations that we gave to the world, you know, the sciences, the medicines, the agriculture, the mathematics, the list goes on. If they have the knowledge of our greatness, then they are already 10 foot tall in terms of the confidence that they have to take on the world. And so, don't deny your children the knowledge of their past and the knowledge of their history. If you do that, you're actually setting them up to fail. Okay, you're not doing all that you can do in order to make sure that they, as children and as young people growing up, are confident in their skin that they are in. Also, just to remind you that we've got a free tribute book that I wrote. It's a tribute to Mosiah Garvey. And this great of ours was such a visionary. I mean, as early as 1921, he already had millions of people who had signed up to his organization. I didn't say hundreds, millions. I didn't say thousands, millions of Africans had already become members of the UNIA, the organization that he founded, National Negroes Association. That was by 1921, family, way back then. And he had such a powerful vision as a leader that his vision is as relevant today as it was back then. And his vision and his confidence and his blueprint is wrapped up in that tribute book, family. So it's absolutely free of charge. You can go to gumroad.com and just search for Sista Shanice, sister with an A, Sista, and you will find that book. You can have it absolutely free. And because it's Mosiah month, please do make sure that you get your copy of that book, okay? And share it. If you go to the site and you want to leave a donation, you're welcome to do so. If you want it for free of charge, you're welcome to have it free of charge, okay? So let me just stop sharing there. Hopefully some of you are in the house. And remember, when you come in, let me know where in the world you're watching us from. Where are you viewing us from? I'd love to give you a big up. Drop a note in the chat, okay? And you can do that throughout the program, throughout the show today. Just drop a message in the chat and I will, periodically go to the chat and bring up your messages and take a look at what you're saying. Okay, so I can see that we've got some family members in the house. Rise up, Brother Kwame Oboje, Saint Hotep, Mami Shanice, I hope you are well. Baba Pepukayi and Baba Sebo, Hotep to both my elders. He's also picking up the brothers and sisters in the house and thanking you all for the support to myself, who's uplifting our brothers and sisters. I'm doing my best, my beloved. It's always a pleasure to have you in the house, Brother Kwame. And he's agreeing, he's saying, yes, the African presence in Britain that was covered up. I know about Queen Charlotte, our sister monarch, and the Stonehenge built by Africans in society. Oh, wonderful. Watching the Hawks is in the house as well. Who else have we got in the house? Gary Ricketts is in the house. Rise up, brother Gary. It was a privilege meeting you at Hackney Library at the Strong End. He said, evening, Sister Shanice, just giving you a shout out. It was great seeing you last Saturday. And Brother Pepukayi, respect and so enough respect to you, beloved. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come down to meet me, and thank you for getting a copy of my latest book as well. It was a joy speaking with you, and he says that he's enjoying the book. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. It's years of research that's gone into that book. Want to rise up Joy in the house as well. Lovely to have you in the house, Sister Joy. Sending enough love black at you as well. Okay, it is 14 minutes past the hour of 8. I do have my guest behind the scenes. Our first guest this evening is Elder Pepukayi. So let's bring Elder Pepukayi forward so that he can introduce himself to you. Elder Pepukayi. Yes, please turn on your camera and get ready to join us here on the Sista Shanice Show platform. Get ready to speak to our wonderful audience. And he's just preparing himself backstage to come on. Elder Pepukayi, We're looking forward to you coming front of house. Until he comes front of house, let me just rise up. Tuka Pamoja in the house, saying greetings, Sister Shanice and everyone else. Too numerous to mention individually. But Tuka Pamoja is bigging you up, family, each and every one of you in the house. Okay, we have our very own Elder Pepukayi in the house. Greetings, Elder Pepukayi. How are you?
Oh, doing well, my sister Shanice. I'm glad to be in your company.
It's a privilege to have you in the house as well. Family, you'll have to listen careful. Our Elder Pepukayi does have a soft voice, but you will be able to hear him. Elder Pepukayi, not everybody knows you on this platform. Although I must say, a couple of strongs ago, if they were here when Leader Bandaka was here, he did gave you a very wonderful, warm tribute as someone who's been working so hard in our community. So those who were around for that show would have heard a little bit about you, but we're always getting new visitors every day. And if you're a new visitor, please do subscribe. And remember to like the video. Back to Elder Pepukayi, please introduce yourself to the family.
My sister Shanice, it's a pity you haven't saved that introduction that my brother Bandaka gave. Would have been useful. Because
it's on video. We do have it. They just have to go back to the show.
No, man, play it now.
Oh, I'm not able to just pull it up and play it now. Sorry about that. But yeah, please do introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the works that you've been doing in the community and how long you've been working in our community for.
Well, Sister Shanice, we haven't got all day. You're kind enough to squeeze me in for this appeal. So I'll try and as brief as I can, because if I was to tell you what I've been doing in these many years, that would take months. So let's try and see if we can keep it to a short introduction. I was born in a district called Moose, which is 5 miles out of Maypen, and Maypen is the capital of Clarendon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. I came to this country in 1967 to join my mother. And I joined the movement around about 1972. So I joined the Black Liberation Front. And literally, I was the workhorse of the BLF. And in fact, what attracted me to the BLF, in fact, how I get to join the BLF, Brother Kwasi, at the time his name was Mosiah Garvey, he came to the house that I was living to speak to another brother who had met on the street. And he said to the brother, what about that bloke upstairs? What's he like? And the brother said, oh, no bother with him. He only likes money. So Brother Kwasi came upstairs, talked to me, and invited me to a BLF meeting. In fact, this meeting was J.K. Osai, historian, brother from Ghana, speaking about Shaka of the Zulu nation. And when I went to the meeting, I was impressed, because I've never known of a personality like Shaka Zulu. Very impressed. So when my brother was coming back from the meeting, he was complaining, this wasn't right, this wasn't there, blah, blah, blah. I said, look, give the people some credit. I went there and I learned something I didn't know about. So what we should be thinking, what can we do to help to build it, instead of expect everything to be ready done. Anyway, I keep attending these meetings, and then the BLF headquarters was at Whiteman Road in Hornsey, and they had lost the the tenancy and had to move. And some other more experienced member of the organization was to come and help me to move because I had a vehicle and I was willing and I went. And the person who was to be there, he didn't turn up. Of course, the landlord had the keys and I went in. My sister Shanice, here I am, just been introduced to the organization. Didn't know head from tail. Here's me picking up document, what to throw away, what to carry. I said, these people are careless. They don't know me. They should be here, determine what is to be kept, what to be thrown away. But being the person I am, I didn't grumble and, I just did the best I can. And one day, same Kwasi, saying gonna let me meet Brother Hosey, because from what he talked about Brother Hosey was a giant in my eyes. When I go and meet Brother Hosey was in a foul mood because one of his relatives, can't remember his mother, died in the Caribbean, and the organization didn't help him to go and deal with his bereavement. And typical African, instead of him take them one side, all members and have the quarrel and cussing, he spit it right out in front of me. And Brother Wynn was there as well. We were new recruits. Of course, Brother Kwasi didn't know where to put his head because the organization was being slaughtered. And if I again was the kind of person I would have run away at that point because two episodes of disorganization one is enough to drive you away. But two in a row. And I stayed because I understand that, we not always do the things that we should do. And there's always room for improvement. So I stayed.
Absolutely. And I'm sure over the years there were many organizations that you were part of where, you witnessed similar episodes of disorganization, but you're telling us that, and I think we're learning from you, your character. You've got that staying power. You've got that determination to want to help, to try and improve things. And we can all learn from that, definitely. And so how many years have you been working in the community for, from then till now?
Yes, over 55 years.
Over 55 years.
And let me say this. I've joined one organization, the BLF. And me and Kwasi was the BLF representative to the Pan-African Committee. And the Pan-African Committee became the PACM. So of course, being a rep and BLF folded, I stayed inside PACM. And I've not joined another organization. Why?
Wow.
My grandmother said, there's no better a giant shop. If you have a problem, fix it. Don't run away, look for better. There's no better.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good words of wisdom and advice there from your grandmother. So you heard that, family. Join an organization. If you join an organization and there's a problem, fix it. Don't run away, because it's probably you're gonna run and find problems anywhere you go. So in 50 years of being a member of the PACM, give us an idea of the sort of initiatives that you've been involved in organizing or assisting to organizing the PACM, please.
Sis, we start with BLF. Let me go to this because this is very important.
That's BALF, you say?
BLF, Black Liberation Front.
Okay, BLF.
Yes.
All right. Uh-huh.
One of the things that inspired me about the BLF when I first entered is that this is what they told me after, because I wasn't existent before I got there. They said they had a meeting and they decided they want to set up a bookshop because we, the African community, we need our own source where we can get the material we need We can't rely upon others. Because one thing about the BLF, they were Garveyites. Self-reliance, do for self. That's what inspired me about them. Because that's how I was raised by my paternal grandmother. And one day, to invite me to talk about my life. Because this woman we need to know where I'm coming from and who this woman was. Because when I was little growing up with her, I would say I hate her. Because it was too hard.
It's so strict, yeah.
But now, she's the greatest person in my life. But anyway, so I was...
Be a strong back.
Oh, yes. I was told that they had a meeting and they decided to set up a bookshop. They didn't have any money. They didn't have any premises. And they saw an empty shop on 61 Goulburn Road in Elbow Grove. And I'm not going to say the break-in. They got in. And they fixed it up. And if they buy 10 books, they put one this and spread it out. You know? And they were there for a little while. The landlord came and saw them, white man, and he was, I can't describe in words because it wouldn't be fit for your radio program.
He wasn't happy then.
No. He was very upset. As far as he's concerned, these niggas are breaking into his place and take over and become squatters. Out! And was ready to call the police. Anyway, they managed to talk to him and they pulled out an envelope with money. And that changed the whole conversation because he didn't expect squatters to be offering him money. And they work out an arrangement. And Grassroots Storefront was one of the leading bookshop in the whole of England.
Wow.
Before that was Johnny Rose, New Beacon Books. That was the first bookshop. And that bookshop inspired Grassroots Storefront. And Grassroots Storefront from there went and opened Head Start Books in Tottenham 25 West Green Road and Unity Bookshop in Harlesden. Wow. The organization at that time had 3 bookshops. Wow. And today we don't have one, but that's another story. No, Sister Shanice, you have to guide this process because...
Okay, so because time is running and passing already. So
let me tell you one bit I need to tell you. We all should be familiar with Black heroes in the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
And I come up with this idea that one way to raise the awareness to project the great personality, the Marcus Garvey, the Harriet Tubman, the Malcolm X, we must dramatize it.
Yeah.
So what we did, we the members would go, I am Harriet Tubman, I free the slave, I this, blah, blah, blah. And Flip Fraser told me, this is what he told me after. He came and see it. And when you say, these people have a good idea, but they don't know how to do it. And out of that come Black heroes in the Hall of Fame. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I don't lie.
Yeah, so a lot of great works have come out through the works of the organization that you've been part of. And you went on to set up a bookshop yourself, didn't you?
Yes.
At the Maat Center.
Yes, and I tell you how that set up. I started when I left it. I ran away from Head Start. I was like a runaway slave from Head Start because Kwasi and Kwame was about destruction, not about building. And I started up in my house where I am now.
Right.
I didn't have any bank loan. I didn't have any what do you call it?
Debts.
Any plan. We call business plan.
Okay.
I just know that we need to start sell books.
You needed a bus.
Yeah. And Well, no, in fact, yeah. Oh, yeah, right. I was talking to Paul. No, let me tell you how it started. I was talking to Paul Coates at Black Classic Press, telling him what was happening inside Head Start. And Paul said to me, "Pepukayi, why don't you set up your own?" I said, "No, Paul, you know me. Whatever I'm doing is organization, not individual. We can't achieve much as an individual. We have to be organized, work as a group." Paul said, "Listen, I know you want to try and sort out what's going on at this start. But what if you don't sort it out?" I said, "Paul, there's no if. It have to happen." Paul said, "Look, I know you are determined. I know you want to do it. But what about the other two? What if they don't want to have anything to do with you?" I said, "Paul, I've got to make it work." But I went and I think about it. And I said, "You know something? Paul have a point." So I call him. I said, "Paul, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to set up on my own. But I don't have any money. Paul said, what you want?" And I told him the books I wanted that he published. And please listen carefully to what I'm saying. Paul sent the books, and he never said, "Pepukayi, I'm going to give you credit on these books, but you must find money and pay the postage, pay the shipping." Paul send it on credit and send and pay the shipping. That's why I started. And I become the European, the UK representative for Black Classic Press, Third World Press, Africa World Press, Red Sea Press, and some others. If you want a black book from any of those publishers, you have to come through me. At those times, books were selling.
Yeah.
If I had to think about money and so on, I'd be one of the richest man in England.
So
Because,
your bookshop became one of the leading and most successful bookshops in the whole of the UK, supplying black publishers.
No, black retailers and black booksellers. Yes.
Yeah, supplying black retailers up and down the country. So let's roll forward to where we are today, because this is an appeal that you're making to our community, because, you know, your success we've heard about, and obviously we've heard that, you know, you wasn't a man who was doing what you was doing for money. You was doing it really to spread the knowledge from the books in our community. And so, you know, bring us up to date to where we are today with your, you know, your bookshop, etc.
My sister Shanice, I was an idiot. We must learn money sense. Money is not oxygen, but in European society, it's as close as oxygen. Without it, you're dead. And I was very careless, because what I should have done is to have credit control. You can be kind, but you must be stupid. And I was being very stupid.
And that's a lesson for everybody,
Yes.
you know, especially those of us in the community, because we tend to do everything for nothing. And we want to give, but we mustn't lose sight of the fact that we're living in a Eurocentric world, and, you know, bills that are due have to be paid. Otherwise, you know, we find ourselves in problems with their financial institutions. So over the years, you know, you had the bookshop, you had your home, your family home, and the bookshop, that was a space mainly for the community. So tell us a little bit about, you know, what happened on the financial side of things, why you are where you are today.
Yes. Let me just finish this last bit. Because I didn't have petty control, over 200,000 is owed to me, and that's all money. In today's money, it'd be about $250,000. And some of the people, them dead, them can't pay. And one particular brother, I won't call his name now, he can't pay, and I'm gonna put some fire on
So the money that's owed to you, basically, you were supplying black booksellers up and down the country with books. So the money that you're referring to there that's owed to you is probably the books that you were supplying to all of these booksellers.
And didn't collect.
For that And I mean, family, I've had that experience years ago. I produced a reggae calendar, and I was supplying my reggae calendar to record shops up and down the country. And we even had white record shops that had that was selling reggae music, and I give them my calendars and T-shirts to sell as well. And family, you know, I said, if I go to the white shop, then they've got my money in an envelope waiting for me. If I go to the black record shop, then all 100 times they would want me to come back. By the time, you know, they have me coming backwards and forwards and I'm driving up and down the motorway to go and collect my money. We's a hard set of people to do business with. We don't know how to turn over money in our community. Anyway, so I over understand, you know, the difficulty and the challenges you would have had collecting that money in from those black booksellers.
But Sister Shanice, let me say this because I don't want people to misunderstand what I'm saying. It wasn't a question that nobody paid me. No, did not be like that. Some paid. In fact,
some paid, yes.
Oh yeah, hold on. And in fact, I got more in than what I lose over those many years.
Oh, good.
So
good.
don't get it wrong that I was just sitting there, right?
Yeah.
No. Did not.
Yeah, some money was coming in, but not all of it was coming in.
Yeah, because what happened, I didn't set credit limit. If I set a credit limit,
yes, them couldn't owe you too much.
Right. Some women 15,000, 10,000, 8,000, 3,000. And it adds up. Money.
Yes, of course. Right. So obviously you wasn't getting that money in. And in the meantime, you had bills to pay, debts to pay, you had loan agreements. What's going on? We've got, you know, about 10 minutes left.
Oh, right. Now, very quickly. Out the money from the bookshop, from the book selling, I was able to buy the center building on credit. And we had problems, and not going to go into the details about that. The long and short of it, I was able to raise money with the assistant of Brother Cecil, who did a marvelous job. And one day I need to come and talk about that. And I paid them off. That building now is worth over 2 million. I don't want a penny on it.
Right. So you hear that, family, asset rich, you know, from the income that our brother got from selling those books to our community, he was able to buy a community space, which is a bookshop up until today. And today that is worth about 2 million. It's a community asset and a community treasure. And we need these community treasures. Okay, carry on.
And I own the house next door as well.
Pardon?
I own the house next door to the center.
Say that again?
I own the house next door to the center.
And you own the house next door to the center as well. So that is
and the reason why
community asset.
The reason why I can't sell that to bail myself out of problem is because if I sell that house, the buyer, the new owner, could raise objection to the plan we have for the center. And also the center space is small. I want to combine the two space for the purpose of the rebuild for the new center.
And I'd love us to talk about the vision that you have for that site at a later date, because I mean, it's a number of story building, and it's basically for the community asset, a CIC initiative. So great vision, and very few in our community have got property that they're willing to dedicate and commit to the community. So taking care of that community space. Now, what about your own personal circumstances?
Yes.
How is that fared?
Sister Shanice, I don't want people to misunderstand anything I've said. It's not that I'm going to hand over those two buildings to the community just like that. No. Community have to raise money to compensate me. I'm not going to sell it to community at market price. No way. But I'm no rich man to just donate it like that. So,
so money will have to be raised to the development.
I want that to be clear.
Over.
So there's no misunderstanding. No, let me go back to the problem I'm in now. The problem I'm in is that the house that I've lived in for over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm still owing on it, it's interest only mortgage,
Right.
because I had to take money out of that to buy the commercial property to pay
Right.
for the deposit.
Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I know that the time period up was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was from the CIC, Community Interest Company, that's taking over the management, the running, and the redevelopment of the center, was
Mm-hmm.
to pay me for the lease.
Mm-hmm.
If they pay me for the lease, then I wouldn't be in this problem, because the money from the lease would be more than enough to pay off what I owe and
Right.
the house, right? Because it didn't happen, this is why I'm in the hot water I'm in. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking for donation. If people want to make a donation, it's fine. But I'm not asking for donation. I've assets. I've got assets. Those assets need to be managed and
Mm-hmm.
organized so the community who help me out can be paid.
Mm-hmm.
If they want to donate that back to the center, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm asking for a loan. So the plan was, I've managed to find a lender
Mm-hmm.
who, on principle, would
Mm-hmm.
lend 100,000 and a
Mm-hmm.
remortgage if I can find the 43.
Mm-hmm.
My family would put up 20, so that leave 23. And is that
Mm-hmm.
23 I'm trying to raise from the community. And to be
Right.
quite honest, my sister um, Shanice,
Mm-hmm.
I come here with a heavy heart,
Mm-hmm.
because I've sent out over 100, and out of that 100, um, it's just 10 people have response and make some sort of commitment. And that's over 3 weeks ago. Use one of that 10. No, people should be lined up. I should only have to ball out once, and people should be lined up. But that's not
Mm-hmm.
how we are. I don't live in cuckoo land. I've been in this now for many years, and I
Mm-hmm.
know how we stay already. So, in fact, you would ask the question, how long have I got? I've run out of time. Because
Mm-hmm.
right now, I could get notice that the bailiff come to change the locks,
Wow.
right? And that
Say
should
that
not,
again.
the bailiff could come any minute
At
now
any time
to change the locks,
on
because
your house.
I don't know if they have to notify you.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know the full runnings.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
one thing I know for sure, that I've run out of time. The, the possession order.
So let's just be clear, and you can clarify for me here as well. So you're in a situation now where the house that you are living in, okay, was interest free only, and the time has come now that you need to repay the bank for the mortgage. The arrangements that should have enabled you to cover the cost of that fell through. But the good news is, on the one hand, is that you've got a lender who's prepared to lend you 100,000 against the property, but you need to raise 43,000. You've managed to raise 20,000 from the family, and you're looking to the community to help you raise the other 23,000 so that you can pay off the bank loan and get the loan from that new lender in order to do so. All right, so 23,000. A few people have committed already. We need people who can contribute 1,000. If 23 people was to contribute 1,000, it would be end of. Remember, this is a loan. There will be a loan agreement. And, you know, you've heard that he's got assets as well. So you're not loaning to someone who, you know, doesn't have assets and so wouldn't be able to repay the loan. And he's also looking for donations, because there may well be some, you know, listeners, some viewers out there who have a lot of money and would want to make a donation to the community, because, you know, this man has a vision, a big vision, a Garveyite vision. He's got the premises, the old bookshop, and he owns the site next to the bookshop. And he's got a vision to build something like a 6-story, you know, complex that we would, as a community, have access to. How many of us every week, every strong, are going to christenings, funerals, 9 nights, weddings, and we're paying thousands of pounds to people who don't look like us, don't like us, to hire those venues? We need our own venues. But, you know, this only happens when we as a community come together. We see other communities do it, and we complain that we don't have. And that's because most of us just don't want to put our hands in our pocket. But some of you, you know, will want to support this cause and will want to get in touch with Elder Pepukayi to find out more about what they can do to help. Elder Pepukayi, please give out your WhatsApp number so that people who want to help and assist can actually contact you, please.
Okay. Make a note, Sister Shanice, so you can make it more clear than I do. 079, you got the pen?
Yeah, I'm making a note.
Okay. 07956 052 821. Can you read it back to me?
Yes, so if you're outside of the UK, you drop the 0 and you put +44 7956 052 821. So I'm going to post that number in the chat. Please make a note of the number. And if you're able to assist, that would be absolutely awesome. If you want more information, that is a WhatsApp number. So you can, you know, message Elder Pepukayi directly. As you can see, we've got Elder Akyaaba in the house, raring to go. He's our next guest for the second part of our show. Elder Pepukayi, I certainly hope that your appeal has touched the hearts of members of our community. You know, it's so important for us to have our own facilities, and you have a site that you own outright, and there is a vision for a £6 million build on that site. But obviously you can't afford to lose your house because of it. But if you can get that bridging loan from our community, if our community can help to raise the 23,000, then that will take a huge weight off of your head. Elder Pepukayi, thank you so much. Let me just allow you to leave with some final remarks, please.
Well, in fact, I'm very glad to see my brother Adai-Sebo, because when you mentioned his first name, I didn't know what you were talking about. But it's our brother Adai-Sebo. I know him very well. We worked well together before he went over back to Ghana. And because of the person he's doing good work. But I've got a lot of love and respect for, you know. So do let me in, because I want to stay and hear what my brother have to say.
Okay, thank you so much. Elder Pepukayi, I certainly hope that the help that you're looking for comes from this platform and from the mouths of others who talk about your need, so it gets to the ears of the right person who can help. Thank you.
We must stop talking and start doing. We talk too much.
Doing. Exactly. Thank you, Elder. Okay, let's put our elder back in the waiting room, and let's bring forward the next guest for the second part of our show, none other than our very own esteemed Elder Akyaaba Addai-Sebo. Welcome. Please take yourself off mute, Elder Akyaaba. It's great to have you visit us again on this platform. Elder Akyaaba, please take yourself off mute. Oh, has our elder frozen? Elder Akyaaba may have frozen. While I wait for our elder to join us. Let me quickly go over to the chat. Our elder's just come out and he will come back in again. Rise up, Kwame Aboje, blazing up the chat. Thank you so much. Yes, Sister Karen saying, you know, heartless towards our own people, you know, and I'm sure all of us are aware of the sentiments and what she means by that as well. And Kwame says, yeah, Baba Pepukayi has hang on, let me make that bigger so I can read it. Self-determination, running his Pan-African site in Tottenham. Rise up, brother Kwame. Okay, so let's go back over to Elder Akyaaba. Let's see if he is live with us at the moment. Greetings, Elder Akyaaba. Please take yourself off mute. So there we go.
Now, thank you. Yes, greetings, and thank you very much. Now, Brother Pepukayi, may our glorious ancestors guide and bless you in your mission, and which has been a strong vision over the years, over 50 years of struggle, consistent. You have done well, and we are proud of you, and the community should rally behind what you are trying to do. May our glorious ancestors bless you and guide you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Just to go over to the chat and say that I've posted Elder Pepukayi's number in the chat. Thank you, Karen. I know you're in the USA. You can still reach Elder Pepukayi via WhatsApp from the USA. Just put the +44 number that I've posted in the chat. Joy, rise up. She said, would be great if the community even donated £1 each. Yes, there's millions of us in the UK. You'd be surprised who we could collect. If everybody was to collect £1, I'm sure, you know, that would all add up. So rise up, rise up. Thank you, Brother Kwame. He's donating £10. Thank you, Brother Kwame Oboje. Brilliant. So we're going over to the next part of our show today. We have our guest in the house, Elder Akyaaba, who's going to introduce himself to you in a short while. This is the season of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, our great Pan-Africanist, and we are going to get into the spirit of Garveyism. But before we do, Elder Akyaaba, no stranger to this platform, but maybe new to some of our viewers, please kindly introduce yourself.
Oh, it's very difficult also time for me to introduce myself. Well, I'm credited with the founder of Black History Month in the UK, and I used also to be the operations manager of the Notting Hill Carnival. My professional life, I'm a peacemaker. I initiated the process to facilitate a settlement of the civil wars in Liberia and Sierra Leone. And then before I did that, I negotiated for the release of 19 hostages, including 10 Europeans that were held by the rebels in Sierra Leone. And I've done a lot of missions regarding bringing about peace in our troubled continent. That is a little bit of my background. Thank you very much.
Wow, our elder deserves
I'm sorry,
the Peace Prize.
we should be experiencing network problems, low bandwidth and unstable bandwidth. So we will be in and out, and it's going to be very disruptive. I'm sorry, it's not my fault, it's the network.
Yes. Yeah, we understand. Oh, no worries.
So
we'll work with it.
So you keep freezing, but if you can hear me, then that is fine.
Hearing you fine.
Okay.
Hearing you perfectly. So I'm going to get out the way in a short while. So let me ask you, in the spirit of Pan-Africanism, I wonder if you could define for us what Pan-Africanism means. What is your view of Pan-Africanism? And is it still relevant today?
Pan-Africanism is about land. It's about Mother Earth. where your umbilical cord is sewn, where you have been brought up. It's your land. It's about land. Come think about it, please, my brothers and sisters. Think about it. Why would Britain send ships to the Falkland Islands, Maldives, to go and secure that land when Argentina tried to take back their land? You see, why would they do that? Look at Ukraine. And the Russians are saying no. So it's about land. And that was what Garvey, that is what Garvey is about. And that's why celebrating him now. It's about land. The same thing about apartheid. It's about land. Cecil Rhodes and Rhodesia, settler colonialism. It's about land. And please think about Palestine and what is going on in Palestine. It's not Gaza, it's Palestine. It's about land, seizure of land, appropriation of land and the resources of it. You think about Kuwait. Kuwait is the British that created Kuwait and the Emirates. It's about land. So that was the essence 80 years ago, nearly 80 years ago, when our elders, most of them who are transited and they are now our glorious ancestors, pantheon of our glorious ancestors, gathered in Manchester in 1945, October 1945. This October will mark the 80th anniversary. And they gathered there because of what? Because of land.
Mm-hmm.
And when Italy attacked Ethiopia, what happened? It was because of land. And we stood up. Those in the diaspora stood up. CLR James and others, they organized the Abyssinia, African Friends of Abyssinia, International Friends of Ethiopia. Yes.
Elder has frozen. I'm not sure if it's my side, family.
And they made their voices heard.
Yeah.
In London, here, there. Then there came a time and said, we've been holding these Pan-African congresses, but Africa is in turmoil, is colonized, is colonized. So without a land, a territorial hold, our struggle is meaningless. So we have to have a territorial hold. And that is what the Fifth Pan-African Congress was about. So they developed a strategy. They developed a strategy that they have to seize land. They have to go back to Africa and to reverse the bond of 1884-85, the Berlin Conference, 1884-85, that partitioned Africa when the European powers and America and Turkey gathered in Berlin, and then they parceled out Africa among themselves. So that had to be reversed. It has to be reversed. So you cannot do that in the diaspora. You have to have a land base on the continent. So they thought about Sierra Leone because of the peculiar nature of its settlement. But then a fortuitous letter came inviting Nkrumah to the Gold Coast. Then CLR James, Padmore, Moodley, and all of them, they met and they said that, Nkrumah, you are going to Ghana. So Nkrumah got to Ghana in December 1947. Then within 10 years, less than 10 years, Ghana became independent and kicked out the British. And on the night, midnight, when the British flag was being brought down, and the Ghana flag, red, black, and green, inspired by Garvey, red, gold, and green, inspired by Garvey's flag with a black star in the middle, raised up. And then he stood on the podium and said, the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked up with the total liberation of the African continent. That is the challenge. That is Pan-Africanism. So Pan-Africanism got home. Then in December 1958, Nkrumah organized the All African People's Conference, which brought all the liberation movement and groups and everybody all across the world into Accra. And that was where Pan-Africa finally, the Pan-African movement finally got home and had a territory. So it was Ghana became the territory to wage the Pan-African struggle. So land is very critical. It's very, very critical. And as I speak to you now, you see what is happening in the Sahel, in Mali, in Niger, and then in Burkina Faso. It should mean a great deal to us. But when we are thinking about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, we should always have at the back of our mind what is happening in Haiti.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have Pan-Africa have three important spiritual factors. The first factor is that of Sudan, which is the spine of Africa, is the spine cord of our humanity. That is where humanity originated from, that region. It's very interesting, from Uganda all the way stretching up to Sudan and all that area. That is our spine. I'll come back to that. Then Haiti. Haiti is our spiritual essence. Then the Congo. Nkrumah said, the Congo is the heart of Africa. If you seize the Congo, you seize the heart of Africa. So all these 3 points of Pan-African sense of being is being under attack. And as I speak to you now, you know what is happening in Sudan. They are thinking about settling these so-called refugees from Gaza in South Sudan. And you know what that means? There's a common Zionist saying that even the termite knows that in order to bring down a structure, it has to penetrate it. And that is what happened. They penetrated Palestine, sleeping agents there for years. They know the details of their leaders and all that. They can block telephone and they send things through phone and what do you call it? All these, I can't think of the names of the small, tiny planes that they send around, killing people, drones and all that. You see, so that is what it is. And Uganda, Sudan has been very interesting to them. And Rhodesia, that's Zimbabwe. You see, it's been very, very interesting to them because they themselves know and accept that that is the base of humanity. So they need to seize it. Originally, before the Balfour Declaration, they were thinking about seizing Libya and Uganda and settling the Zionists there. And the agenda is not gone. It's still there. Now they have perfected the set of grabbing the land in Palestine. So they have a formula and they think they can do it. So they are going to send people there, and they later on cause turmoil. And your mind should go back to Idi Amin. Idi Amin, he kicked out the Israelis, and the Israelis organized and raided Uganda together with some African country, Tanzania and others. They did that. And that is understandable also, because unfortunately our revered former president of Tanzania, Julius Nyerere, was a Christian first. His loyalty was to the Catholic order. His loyalty was to the Pope. So if you have African leaders who are of the Abrahamic faith, that is Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and that is their sense of loyalty, you have a problem. It has always been a problem. It has always been a problem. It has always been a problem for us. So please, we are here in 2025. And when you look at Africa, you cannot, apart from what is happening in the sister states of the Sahel, you cannot point to any totally liberated territory. We have been recolonized. We have been recolonized. And that is the truth. All these leaders, including Cyril Ramaphosa, look at him going to sit in front of Trump like a poodle. How? And Trump lying there, could not tell him that, Mr. President, you are lying. The information you are producing is lies. We are not like you. We are not like you. You have taken over 70% of the land, but we are still negotiating. Zimbabwe, we took some of the land, and they are still trying to give you some of the land back. It's because our sense of humanity. That is why we are taking advantage of, because we are the parent of humanity. So the essence of Pan-Africanism is struggle for land, struggle to own our own land. Africa must be totally liberated politically and economically. That is our responsibility. And particularly those of us in the diaspora, you are the army for the total liberation of the continent. Now you are in millions in the Americas, in the Caribbean, in Europe, in Brexit, UK. You are in millions. But look, in 1945, how many were there? How many were there? How many were there? Look at the impact that they made, the commitment. Africa is yours. It's yours. It's yours. Stop the whole, what do I say, identity crisis that you force yourself in. You are anything else but an African. Black British, black this, black this. You can never be black English or black Scots or black Welsh or black Irish. So what is Britain? You can be black Britain, but you can never be black English. You can never be black Scot. You can never be black Welsh or black Irish. That is what you have to understand. You are an African. And the color that is being put on you, You didn't. It's those who classified the world according to color. They can classify themselves as white. They have labeled you black. But for circumstances, we've taken it. But when you scrape, you are an African. You are an African. And you have to accept that. And you have, Garvey said it, you have a whole continent. What is yours? A whole continent.
I've lost Elder Akyaaba. Okay, he's back. Please take yourself off mute, my elder. I lost you for a couple of seconds, but you're now back. You're still on mute, my elder.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The bandwidth problems.
No worries.
Yes. So please, you are an
African, first and foremost. Our elder has frozen again, my
African, and Africa belongs to you. Reality. Africa needs it urgently now. And it is you. Please, it is you, great Africa. You are going back. You have to go back. Africa is yours. You don't have to be invited. Go. It is yours. It is your land.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
The mere fact that I happen to be born in Africa than you. No, most of you in the diaspora know more about Africa than I do. That is the reality. And it is a fact. And so you should not, please, let anyone diminish your light as an African. Let no one diminish it. Let no one diminish it. You are an African and proud. Africa is yours. Africa is yours, please. Africa is yours. Go straighten up your mind and go and take Africa. You are sitting there in the diaspora, and the Chinese, illiterate Chinese, are taking the risk. They come to Ghana and they see the land of gold. It was named the Gold Coast all over. And they are there mining, do whatever it is, taking up gold, exporting almost $1 billion worth of gold every week or so. You see. And why? Why? It is yours. It is yours. Don't deny yourself. So you organize yourselves and come and take over Africa. Be concerned. Be concerned. Africa is yours. My sister, this is where we are. Pan-Africanism is about land. Pan-Africanism is about land. I recall in 1984, 85, the Greater London Council declared the year 1984 as anti-apartheid year and then anti-racist year. And then I designed a T-shirt which simply said apartheid, anti-apartheid equals Africa lands in African hands. Anti-apartheid means African lands in African hands. It's the same thing. Pan-Africanism means African lands in African hands. Not a single land of Africa, including the islands, should be in the hands of anyone. And this is what Nkrumah taught us. If you look at Nkrumah's books, he always produces a map of Africa with all its islands. It's all its islands. You see, now we are sitting there. Then about 4 or 5 years ago, Egypt, there's a small island in the Red Sea. Egypt sold that land or gave that land to Saudi Arabia. How? And the AU did not say anything. How can you do that? And you think that small Maldives in the Pacific, in the Atlantic, that is Falklands, the British would send an armada over there to go and keep and protect that small island. Then you give the strategic link, Red Sea island there, and you give it away. And African Union said nothing. And they could not say anything because when the collective West, US and its NATO allies, they raided Libya, bombarded Libya, and killed Gaddafi like a dog. The African Union went quiet. They could never issue a statement of condemnation collectively. This is the state where we are, and you should reject it. That is not you.
Absolutely.
That is not you. Go back. You are Haiti. You are Toussaint du Louverture. You are Dessalines. You are Bookman. That is what you are. That is why Haiti, they are prevented because of the symbolism of Haiti. Look at Congo, the symbolism of Lumumba. Look at how they dealt with Lumumba. My goodness. Cut him into pieces, dissolve the body in acid, and then they keep a tooth as a momentum.
Yeah.
What is this? We don't do that.
Savagery.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
Inhumanity that they display.
Okay, so Haiti, think about it. That is where we defeated. How many we defeated the Spanish, the Portuguese, the English 3 times, the French 3 times, the American twice. My goodness, that is your history. That is your history. That is who you are. That is what you are.
Absolutely.
You. That is what you are. So let the spirit of Haiti, please look for the book by Jacob Carruthers. That is the, my mind is, when you're getting old, sometimes this hits you.
How do you spell his name? How do you spell his name, my elder? Jacob
Carruthers, Carruthers.
K-A-R-R-U?
No, Carruthers. Jacob Carruthers. Jacob Carruthers.
Let me have
the hidden the J. Carruthers. What is happening to my mind? It will come back to me. It will come back to me. But find that book and read it.
Restoration of Africa?
No, it's about Haiti.
I think I've got the spelling wrong. Spell his surname again for me, please.
Carruthers.
C-A-R-R-U.
C for C-A-R-R-U-T-H-E-R-S.
Okay. All right. Let me
Jacob Carruthers.
Right. Okay, let's quickly do that search, see if we can find that book.
Have you got it?
It's a historical reflection of African deep thought from the time of the pharaohs to present. Not that one.
No. It's on Haiti. It's the something genius. It's like the
Jacobins. No, he didn't write that.
no.
Irritated genie. An SM. No.
Yeah, the genie. Yes, yes.
Irritated genie. Okay.
Irritated genie.
Yeah,
That
right.
is it.
Found it.
Everyone
Okay.
should get a copy of that book, Irritated Genie.
Irritated genie.
You see, it's our genie. Now, what is happening should irritate your genie. You understand? It should irritate your genie. You should not accept it. It should irritate your genie. Garvey's genie was irritated, and he moved from Jamaica and went to Latin America and came to the US and came to UK. His genie was irritated. You see, so we have to, our genie have to be irritated. We have to come out of the God. We have been kept in the God. And the God, we have to come out of the God. Our genie has to come out. That is what it means. That is irritated genie. That's what you are. It pops up. Nkrumah popped up. Sankara popped up. Maurice Bishop popped up. But when you pop up and there's no strength and organization behind you, you fall.
Exactly. Yeah.
You see, and our strength on organization is a diaspora. You are the army. You are the army. You are the army.
That's why it's so
There
so
are things
important.
that I cannot say. Strategically, I cannot say, but I'm speaking to you in Proverbs. I'm speaking to you in Proverbs. Please, there is a common Zionist saying that in order to bring down a structure, even the termite knows that it has to penetrate it.
Penetrate it, and that's what they do.
So, please, know your destiny. Know your destiny and know what you have to do. It's very clear.
Yes.
Look at what happened.
Yes.
So you have to know and understand what you have to do.
Yes. Thank you so much. And yesterday I was doing a talk about the importance of the media and the importance for us to take control of our own media, my Elder Akyaaba, because we're in a situation at the moment where, because the vast majority of our people are plugged into the mainstream media, that mainstream media has control of their minds. Whereas back in the 1920s, during the time of Mosiah Garvey, our people were plugged into the Negro world. And so the Garvey's vision and Garvey's energy and Garvey's spirit was what filled the minds of our people, and it's the same with our people in Haiti. When they got back, when they were back into their right mind, when they realized that they were the ones who could take control of the situation that they were experiencing in Haiti, and that if they wanted to free themselves, that they had to make up in their mind to do so. And once they made up in their mind that they were going to take control of their situation and free themselves, that is exactly what happened. And a lot of us are growing up in the diaspora with a media that's feeding us a huge diet of helplessness, hopelessness, a diet that is suggesting that we are less than Africans, and people wanting to disassociate themselves from being Africans. And so this is why we need to take back control of the media, and we need to make sure that our children actually grow up feeling proud to be an African, being proud, to want to go to visit Africa, to see the land for themselves. And once they get that spirit of pride and that spirit of confidence, and they know who they are, then it's going to be game over. Because you said, Africa, wherever we are in the world, we are Africans, irrespective of where we were born, first and foremost, irrespective of our religion, First and foremost, we are African, and our allegiance and our loyalty must be to Africa and Africans. And when we're all of that mindset, wow, 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 you know, we will be able to affect the change that our ancestors were able to affect back in the 20s, back in the late 50s and early 60s. But we've got to get back that Haiti spirit, that Haiti spirit. But Elder Akyaaba, you know, thank you so much, you know, for clarifying for us, you know, the importance of land. You know, the Europeans know the importance of land. They're claiming land everywhere. The Africans were the original people of the entire globe, you know, and these people have come in like termites and settled among us and taken over much of our land everywhere they go. And as you said, our battle is to take back control of our lands, you know, and the control of the economies and everything else above and under the land. But we're in a system at the moment, Brother Akyaaba, and this is the strategy of the Europeans, to place us within a system that they call democracy, that enables them to select and then have us elect leaders that they have selected, who are doing their bidding. And so here we are up and down Africa with too many spineless African leaders who seem to be unaware of the importance of their role, which is to protect African land. You're giving us an example of Egypt giving away, you know, an island just off of the coast of Egypt. I mean, even Egypt, you know, we've lost. The whole of North Africa, we've lost. The termites are in South Africa now. You know, they've settled among us and they're eating away and trying to establish white-only lands in South Africa. You know, and wherever we look, there they are. You know, people who don't look like us, don't like us, you know, taking land. They have their strategy. The Western world and their allies through so-called democracy. The Chinese through economic benefits that they claim to be bringing to us. The Indians, the same, claiming to be bringing economic benefits to us as Africans to enable them as termites to settle among us and then eat away at the fabric of our land. Too many spineless leaders, lacking the vision of Pan-Africanism. What is your view on that? Have I got it wrong? And if it is the case that we have too many spineless African leaders who are allowing, you know, African land to be slowly eaten away by these parasites, you know, what do we really need to be doing about it in the 21st century, please, my elder?
I have stopped using the word democracy long time ago, almost over nearly 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it. I call it demoncracy.
Demonocracy. For real.
That's the hypocrisy of Western democracy. It's hypocrisy of Western democracy.
Yes.
Demoncracy.
Yes. Yes, it's a strategy of theirs to take our land, to take control of our economies, to take control of our agriculture and everything. The demon.
It's like religion. It's like Christianity. It's like having a slave Bible.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
It's the same. It's not dissimilar. It's the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You see, the whole issue about democracy and all that started to be propagated in the 1980s. Something was happening in Africa and in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
The center of Western control in Africa was being shaken by some developments which they had no control, because hitherto, since the 1960s, They have been responsible to changing regimes and overthrowing regimes to satisfy their national interests. Then, somewhere in Liberia, someone called Sergeant Doe popped up. A sergeant, not even a captain, overthrew a Western established order, overthrew the regime. Then Sierra Leone, you have Captain Strasser also coming up, overthrowing a regime. Then you had Maurice Bishop, the New Jewel movement. There was something that was happening. Then Sankara also comes up. There was something that they had no control. They did not put these people there. This was Africa reacting. Then the worst of it all, there was someone who was called Charles Taylor, that they themselves sponsored to come and overthrow, to go to Africa and overthrow Samuel Doe. He came in and then he changed his mind that he was no longer going to be a poodle of the West. And a civilian at that time, when the whole of West Africa was mostly under military rule by generals, You see, so you have these generals being overthrown by their sergeants, non-commissioned officers and all that, and captains overthrowing these generals. And these generals who have been trained in Fort Bragg, in Sanders, in Left View and all that, who were basically middle people they were house Negroes, basically. House Negroes, these generals were being overthrown. So there was confusion. So the think tanks of the US and its NATO allies met in Washington, together with IMF, the World Bank, and the US Treasury. And then they came up with what they call the Washington Consensus, that from now on, all our aid will be conditional. To qualify for our aid, you have to practice democracy.
Democracy.
And that democracy meant free enterprise. You have to support free enterprise and open your borders for Western goods and all that. So you are not allowed to produce what you need. You are allowed to import what you need. And I'll use Ghana as a typical example. Nkrumah industrialized Ghana to the point that we were producing our own tires. We were producing our own food. We were producing our own textiles, our clothes, everything, our light. We were making our televisions. We were making our radios. We were assembling vehicles and all that. Over 300 industries. And that then, when my generation, we took over in 1980 and aligned with the IMF and World Bank and US Treasury, they advised us that we should set up a divestiture implementation committee to divest Ghana of its industrial and manufacturing foundations. And we did that. We did that. Nkrumah, before he was overthrown, was setting up a gold refinery.
Mm.
And when he was overthrown, they advised, because they organized a coup in 1968, they advised the military regime to abandon the gold refinery. And up to now, as I speak to you now, it was abandoned in Takwa, and we didn't revive it. So that is what they did. So they saw something happening and they had to curb it. But we were oblivious of it.
Mm. Mm.
We were oblivious of it.
Mm.
But if you are aware of it, you can protect it. In the same way, please, that we did. It was in the 30s, Ethiopia, when Italy raided Ethiopia, we stood up. How many of us? They stood up and prevented Ethiopia being swallowed by Italy. And now, AES, the sister states of the Sahel, Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, it is out of the script. It is out of the script. And it is our responsibility. It's a Pan-African responsibility that if they survive and they succeed, it is our responsibility. In the same way that Haiti is our responsibility, it's a Pan-African responsibility. Okay? Look at Palestine. Then look at Ukraine. It is the collective West. It's the West. US has not, they see it as their responsibility to fight and secure. So what is our sense of Pan-African responsibility? This is what I am appealing to you. It is you, the individual, having that sense of loyalty and depth of understanding.
Not sure if it's my computer.
That
the computer is freezing. I'm not sure if it's my end or yours, my elder. Please let me know in the chat. The computer's freezing my end. It may well be my computer. Please let me know in the chat. Is our elder coming through okay? Okay, it looks as though it may well have been the internet connection, my elder's end. I've lost him on my screen. Or is it just me? Please let me know in the chat. Are you seeing my elder? Are you seeing me? What are you seeing in the chat, family? Let me go to the chat and take a look and see what's going on. It may well be my computer. Apologies, family, if it's my end, apologies. My end, I've lost our Elder Akyaaba. He may well be still talking to you there. I have this sort of thing before where I lose my speaker, but my speaker's there, and it's not that my speaker's lost, it's that I'm not connected. Okay, I'm looking on here, and it looks as though we have lost Brother Kwame Arce. Rise up, he says, Ghana internet connection is not good. Can't see elder. Okay, so you're seeing what I'm seeing. It's the elders. Okay, PC is freezing. Okay, thank you so much for letting me know what the situation is. I'm sure our elder will come straight back on as soon as it's there. Oh, our elder is actually back. Elder Akyaaba, we lost
Yes,
you in a while
Mark,
there.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem. And because it's
Yes, I'm
usually
sorry.
my end that's the problem, I thought it was me. I thought, you know, everyone was hearing you and listening to you, and it was my end.
Yes.
But at the moment, I'm in the West and you're on the continent. And so the problem is what I'm usually getting, I suppose, on the continent.
Yes.
So welcome back. You were making it very plain and very clear to us that it's the responsibility of us Africans in the diaspora to be playing a Pan-African role to support our liberators in the Sahel, but also very, very importantly, you know, to address the injustices that our African nations are facing across the continent, that we can't just sit back, do nothing and say nothing. You know, we have a duty and a responsibility as an African to want to fight for Africa in the same way that Russia is fighting for its people in Ukraine, in the same way, you know, that we see what's going on in Palestine, where the West and their allies are standing firmly behind Israel, you know. But what should our fight look like, Elder Akyaaba? We don't have arms, you know, we're not in a position to go in and threaten people and run them out of the country. I mean, how, you know, what should we be doing? I mean, we can't do it with arms, but family, are there other ways that we could be going in and fighting, taking control, putting certain things under manners? And then obviously we don't want to move in Africa, and we have to do it in partnership with our brothers
My
and
sister,
sisters.
can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
It's breaking. You are freezing. Is the network is very bad?
Yeah, I think it's the network you're in.
I can hardly hear you.
Oh no. Okay, are you hearing me now? Well, you know what? Let me allow you to talk because we're hearing you clearly. I need to know from you what our role looks like in helping to support Africa, Africa's liberation struggle. Family, in the chat, let me get some ideas from you until our elder unfreezes and is able to participate again. Okay, so thank you, Kwame Oboje, Kwame Ose, Brother Kelvin, for letting me know that you can see me and that you can hear me, and for letting me know where the problem is. I can see we've lost our elder again. Brother Kwame Ose, yes, about the internet connection. Yes, indeed. Well, you know, we got a clear message there from our brother Akyaaba before his internet connection went. You know, Pan-Africanism, the focus of Pan-Africanism has to be the issue of land. When these people are coming in, their strategy, the strategy of the West and their allies, is to deprive us of our land. Now, for those of you who are very familiar with our history of Africans, you will know that as Africans, we migrated out of Africa tens of thousands of years ago, and we populated the entire globe. We are the original people of the entire globe. When these people came out of the Caucasus Mountains on all fours, no language, no culture, no civilization to speak of, they settled among us. And, you know, we've heard of this famous saying that I hadn't heard of before, but I certainly have now, and it makes so much sense. And this is how they operate. They settle among us like parasites with the intention of penetrating us and then bringing us down, just like they've done and are doing in Gaza today. So this is what they did to us all over the world. You know, the original people of Europe, Africans. Now there's Europeans. The original people of China were Africans. Now that's not the case. The original people of India, although the vast majority of Indians are still black, the ruling classes are certainly not. The original people of Australia, Africans. Today, it's a different story. The original people of Canada, black, Eskimos. Today, that's not the case. The original people of America, Africans. Today, that's not the case. And so these people If our mind aren't sharp, in 1,000 years' time, we will think they were the original people of Africa. And where will that leave us? Landless. Elder Akyaaba, welcome back. Let's see if we can hear you now.
It's freezing. I don't know. It keeps freezing. Yeah, it keeps freezing. Can you hear me?
We're hearing you loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, but you keep freezing. Yes, you keep freezing. I missed a lot of what you were trying to say, but what I want to stress is that we must always look at the example of Marcus Garvey. Let's see yourself as Marcus Garvey. Wow. See yourself as Marcus Garvey.
Wow.
And let Africa be of great meaning to you. Let Africa be of great meaning to you. Let no one alienate you materially and spiritually from Africa. You are the parent of humanity. And what did Marcus Garvey tell us? Africans for Africans, both at home and abroad.
Yes.
Africa is yours. Without Africa, you are nobody. Please. So let the example of Garvey be your torchlight.
Africa for
let
Africa.
the gospel of Garvey. And the essence of Garvey is mobilization and organization. Nkrumah was a student of Marcus Garvey. And you said, we don't have a navy, we don't have an army, we cannot. But listen, when they gathered in Manchester almost 80 years ago in 1945, what army did C.L.R. James have? What army did Padmore have? What army did they have? They had the army of their intellect. What God has given them, what Mother Africa has given them. They had the army of the intellect. Intellectual preparation is very key. And listen to what Bob Marley said. We have to emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. It's intellect. It's the intellect. That is the power. That is the power. Artificial intelligence and all this that you are talking about, that is power. It comes from where? From the mind. The mind, it comes from the mind. It's you.
Yes.
So, Garvey came from Jamaica and from Latin America to the US with what army and with what money? But his intellect and sense of organization, mobilization. It was the same thing that Nkrumah did. When C.L.R. James and Padmore took him to Liverpool and put him in a ship in November 1947 to come to Ghana or the Gold Coast, they didn't give him millions and millions. He didn't have money. But he came, and what did he do? His mind with a strategy.
A liberated mindset. Woo!
Mobilize. And look, please, this has not happened anywhere on any continent. He came empty-handed to Ghana
And within 10 years, he managed to a single gun shot at the British. It's the British rather that shot
Wow.
at us.
Yeah.
But Nkrumah
It's freezing again.
did not fire, no gun fire any single through mass mobilization. And that is what it is. That is us. So, but our army is the intellect of the diaspora. You are in the mouth and belly of Babylon. You know the intestines. You know Babylon very well. But sometimes you have to be patient with some of us from the motherland because we frustrate you and we don't know the person that we are dealing with. And we let them divide us and play us against each other. But you have to be patient. Look at the patience of C.L.R. James of Padmore and others, Sylvester Williams and all of them, Marcus Garvey and all of them. That is what you have to exhibit and be accommodating. But do not lose track or your focus. Your focus is the urgency of the total liberation and unification of Africa. And the struggle continues. And we have every responsibility to see to it that the US, its NATO alliance, France, Germany, Canada, all of them, they do not succeed in undermining Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali. That is our responsibility.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, my elder, I'm so enjoying the teaching. You're, you know, reorientating our energy, or certainly my energies, you know, you're getting us back on focus. This is why these reviews and these opportunities to focus on Garvey, his mission and his vision is so, so important, because you know, it's when we take the time out to review and talk about Garvey that we begin to, you know, reorientate our energies and refocus on what we ought to be doing. And this is powerful. This is a powerful message that you're giving us here, Elder Akyaaba. You know, you're right. It's easy for us to get impatient and to get fed up and to want to give up with our brothers and sisters on the continent. But Marcus Garvey, he never gave up. C.L.R. James and Padmore and Garvey, look at the time it took. Look how many conferences they had over so many decades, you know, 20 years from 1921 to 1945 or 1948. But look at the impact of what happened by the late 1950s as a result of, you know, those conferences, those seminars, the organization, the mobilization. And that's what we're seeing even in the Sahel region, the organization and the mobilization of the people. They've got the people behind it. They've got leaders who are organizing as a collective, coming together in unity. Wow, this is powerful. We've got 6 minutes left of the show. Please remember to donate to Elder Pepukayi. Let me go to the chat and see some of the comments in the chat. Absolutely agree, Brother Kwame Oboje. We've got to free our minds, and we need to have the mind of liberation, of freedom, a mindset that that is for Africa, wherever we are in the world, you know, and we need to be mindful of our duty and our responsibility to Africa as well. Rise up, Brother Kwame also in the chat, he says, Africans in the diaspora are in the main, what's that, Sickophone, maybe Stockholm, don't want to do for self, too much assimilation. Okay, so, you know, I think Brother Kwame's there talking about, you know, the fact that to a large extent, it seems a lot of our people are assimilating, you know, suffering from maybe the Stockholm syndrome, have fallen in love with our oppressors and have forgotten, you know, what freedom looks like and feels like. Maybe have got too comfortable in the West. We need to have a conversation. You know, I think we're going to have a follow-up and a part 2 with our elder. Rise up, Sister Lillian in the house, saying, I support 100%. Kwame, words sound power. Kwame, you know, is saying, yep, weekend and a half. All right, let me go back and see some of the comments that we've got in here as well. He's reminding us that we've lost the Notting Hill Carnival, you know, the largest carnival in the whole of Europe, I think, or the second largest carnival, brings in millions for the British economy, and hardly any of those millions trickles into the Black community, the community that are the originators of that carnival. And we have, even on the platform here today, a man who was instrumental in putting Notting Hill Carnival on the map. And, you know, we've got to learn how to hold on to what we originate. We've got SW in the house saying, rise up, Sister Shanice. I think it might be all over, really. Oh, I think you're dealing with the connection there. Certainly not all over for us. Absolutely not. You know, we've got our work cut out. Our elder is reminding us of our duty, our role and responsibility for those of us in the diaspora. You know, it's the change that we want to see is not going to happen overnight. But if we are determined, if we are persistent and consistent and get involved in the movement, the organizing and the mobilizing, we may not live to see the change. Garvey didn't live to see, you know, all those countries become independent. He didn't live to see all those countries become independent. When did he die? When did Garvey die? I don't think he lived to see all those countries become independent. I think he died in the 50s. I'll have to check. But he died 46 or so, yes. So he didn't even live to see all of the African countries actually defeat colonialism and gain their independence. But look at the work that he and his movement put in towards making it happen. So family, we may not live to see Africa become truly independent and liberated, but what we do know is we've got to be putting the work in. Elder Akyaaba, thank you so much for refocusing us. We're 2 minutes away from the top of the hour. Let me give you 1 minute, please, to just hopefully agree to come back and continue this really important conversation that we've started today. We need to be reminded of our role and our responsibility because we're not hearing it anywhere else. No mainstream media is going to tell us what our role is. No mainstream media is going to remind us of what our duties are as Africans wherever we are in the world. No mainstream media is going to admit to the demonocracy of their system and the strategies that they've got in place to actually undermine us as a people. We've got to do that work for ourselves. Okay, we're at the top of the hour. Sorry about that, Elder Akyaaba.
At your service, and anytime you can call on me. I appreciate it. Please. Thank you so much. Before we leave, please, we should all please own Africa is yours. Own it. Own it. Be passionate about Africa. Own it.
Own it. You are sitting there and the Chinese are coming, marrying Africans and all that, having children here and owning, taking over the gold and mine. It is yours. Own it. Have a sense of value. Africa gives you value. Africa is Africa that gives you value. Please, Africa is yours. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Elder Akyaaba. Thank you to everyone that's joined us tonight in the chat. Please share the video so others can get this powerful message from our Elder Akyaaba to remind us of our responsibility. And also, please, if you can, support the appeal from our beloved Elder Pepukayi. Sister Shanice out of here for now. All being well, next strong, I'll be back with Elder, none other than Leader Bandaka. And I will be speaking to our Elder Akyaaba so we can continue this important debate. Thank you, family. Sister Shanice out of here for now. Bye for now.
Bye.